He's not only killed the old woman, but also her sister, Lizaveta, who disturbed him when he began to rob their flat.
What if it's already beginning? What if my punishment is already beginning? Yes. Yes. It's true. What's the matter with me? Why was he beating the landlady?
Who was beating the landlady?
Just now. The policeman on the stairs.
It's the blood.
Blood? What blood?
Nobody's been beating the landlady. It's the blood inside you making a noise. It always does that when it starts getting clotted in your liver. That's when you start to see things, sir.
Iron beak.
Flag crusher.
You peck us to death, you and your kind.
Now feed us, breaking gypsum.
And getting fat on prison food.
Sometimes I absolutely hated my fellow sufferers. They, after all, were among their own kind, among companions they could understand. It is different with the well-bred man, the gentleman. He will be despised, and he will be eternally tormented by the consciousness of his alienation and solitude.
For me, Crime and Punishment is the most powerful, the most poetic account of self-alienation through evil doing since Macbeth. Macbeth thought he heard a voice. Methought I heard a voice cry, "Sleep no more. Macbeth hath murdered sleep, the innocent sleep." Sleep no more. Raskolnikov must have often murmured to himself, "Sleep no more." He'd lost his peace of mind. And the rest of the novel is the story of the struggle to recover that peace of mind. What Dostoevsky describes as rejoining the human family, of getting out of this terrible trap of self, this nightmare of alienation and solitude.
Whoops! Careful with the furniture.
Sorry.
Remember, it's public property.
Sorry. Just that there's a little business I'd like to discuss with you about the old woman, the pawnbroker who was killed.
I see. Well, sit down.
Well, the fact is, she had one or two things of mine, and I'd like to inquire about reclaiming them.
All you have to do is send us a written statement.
He knows. I'm sorry to trouble you with such trifles. It's just that the silver watch was the only thing of my father's we have left. If my mother thought it was lost, I'm sure she'd be in despair. Women.
I'm sure your things are quite safe. As I said...
Was it all right? Did I overdo it? What did I say? Women.
You see, I've been expecting you here for some time. The old woman wrote down the names of all of her clients, and you're the only one who hasn't found it necessary to come forward.
I'm afraid I haven't been very well.
Yes, I heard that. Still look rather pale.
No, I don't. I'm fine now. Anyway, this is ridiculous. I'm wasting your time.
Good heavens, no, on the contrary. I find it fascinating to look and listen. I know. I'll get some tea. Might be a minute.
He's just calmly spitting in my face. Maybe I'll blurt out everything. Right in your ugly mug. Then you'll see how I despise you. But what if I'm imagining it? God, I'm all nerves. They've got no facts, that's the main thing.
That won't do, gentlemen. Give me facts.
Oh, I've got the most terrible hangover. I went to a party last night. Everybody was tanked up on punch and holding forth on the subject of is there such a thing as crime or not.
Why not? It's an ordinary social question.
It all brought to mind an article of yours, which I had the pleasure of reading in the periodical magazine a couple of months ago.
My article? I didn't know they published it.
My dear fellow, it's a fact.
As far as I remember, I dealt with the psychology of a criminal during the whole course of his crime.
Yes. It was the end of the piece that interested me, where you hint at the existence of certain people who actually have the right to commit all sorts of enormities and are, as it were, above the law.
Not exactly. I think I argue that the really extraordinary people, the Napoleons and Mohammeds and so on, demanded the destruction of the present in the name of a better future. If for the sake of that idea a man has to step over a corpse or wade through blood, then in my opinion he's absolutely entitled.
I see. But how are we to distinguish the extraordinary people from the ordinary ones? Don't you think they ought to introduce a special uniform? Wear a badge or be branded in some sort of way? It'd be a bit frightening if a misunderstanding should arise. Suppose, for instance, a young man decides that he's a Napoleon and decides to, well, step over an obstacle. See what I mean, don't you?
It could happen. Vain and stupid people might fall into that trap.
Well, what about it?
Well, what about it? It's not my fault, is it? You've got your prisons, your police, your magistrates. So catch your thief.
What if we do catch him?